This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. I want to show you in a video the pattern that I'm seeing going on here, and you will see it as well because there's no denying a pattern when you actually see a pattern. Because when you see something over and over and over again, and you see it all put together, you start to actually think to yourself, yeah, there is something to this. There is something that they're trying to show us here because they keep showing it to us. This is one of the reasons that censorship runs so rampant on channels that you have a guy like me speaking on, is because it helps unlock your brain to what's going on, because repetition is the key to mind control. And when you see it displayed in front of you and you see, wow, they really are showing me this over and over and over again. I didn't notice that they were showing it to me because they were conditioning you. And a way to pull out of the mind control is to see that there's a pattern here and they're showing it to you, and it's coming through the music industry specifically, as well as Hollywood. So Kanye West, you know Kanye West, the wolf in sheep's clothing, who all the conservatives think is wonderful because all he has to do is align himself with Donald Trump, and then conservatives will think he's a Christian, right? He can come out and hang out with Marilyn Manson. He can come out and blaspheme Jesus himself, which is what he does over and over and over again. But as long as he supports Donald Trump out in the open, people will think that he is a Christian, because that seems to be the way that this mind control works now. So Kanye West has a new album called Bully. Does the cover of this album look familiar to you? Because it should, right? It's what you would think of as a portal or a dimension, right? We see this all the time now. Just a lot of people don't realize we're actually seeing this over and over and over again, more often than we see the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. Portals is the new theme, and it tells us that something big is likely coming. And Kanye West even did a little performance over the weekend where he showed a portal opening on stage. And of course, this is just using a light show, but there's a reason for this. There's a reason they keep showing you this depiction of a portal. Look.
It's been a long time coming. Fresh new ties, I'm still running. It's a few things I know coming. But it takes still think about it every night and day. Try to stay away from my heart. Come take this strength. I'm sitting here trying to redirect. I'm thinking about it every night and day. Try to stay away from my heart.
So Kanye West, again, that was a portal on stage. He's got this thing called Bully, this album called Bully coming out. He even tweeted or posted on his Instagram account this one photograph. And of course, everybody out there is trying to decipher what it means. Does it have something to do with one of his other albums? This is the stuff that the sheeple just go back and forth, looking at the stuff that the celebrities post, trying to decipher it, trying to figure out what it actually is, right? But it actually looks a lot like a portal. Closed, right? You could see on the edge of it, almost light coming through the sides. And this is a common theme. This is the repetition that you're seeing. Let me show you, right? So Kanye West has an album cover coming out that features a portal. He's showing you portals in his show, right? About a month ago, Katy Perry decided that she has a new album called 143, and she wanted to let everybody out there know, sleep tight. Tomorrow the portal opens. And Katy Perry, even most recently, at the MTV Video Music Awards, showed a portal and her coming out of a portal, even looking and using the green lights, a lot like Kanye West did. So let's get this straight for the pattern here, right? Let's just recap, get your brain going. We just saw Kanye West, right, over the last couple of days, show us his new album cover, which shows a portal. Katy Perry has a new album coming out and is talking about opening a portal, showing herself coming through a portal, even in her most recent performances, coming through a portal, right? Well, guess who else has just used a portal out of nowhere? Well, Eminem. Eminem shows himself coming through a portal. You could see it behind it. And of course, even if anyone out there is questioning if that's a portal or not, he says it's a portal. Breaking news, a portal from 2002 is opened in the city and Eminem has come through the portal. So now we have Eminem, Katy Perry, Kanye West, maybe the three biggest musicians on the, out there in America, at least right now, other than a couple of the other obvious ones like Beyonce, right? Well, here's another huge performer in America, The Weeknd. The Weeknd just did his Sao Paulo live stream where he had a performance that they pushed on YouTube for everyone to see, and even his new music video showing what? Well, that's a portal that he's coming through. And during his concert, he showed like what you would look at this and say, is that a demon or something? It's something on the other side of a wall, right? I mean, we could all make that out, right? Something on the other side of a wall looking through. It's a shadowy figure, right? I mean, we could all take a guess. And then, of course, during the performance, we see a large beam head towards the screen, and the screen opens like almost like a portal. It looks actually just like a portal. So we have these four musicians who are major musicians. Do you think that any one of their PR people may have gotten involved, a manager, somebody saying, portals is, it's trendy right now. You want to look like an artist. You are an artist. All this is supposed to be art and creativity that's happening, right? Oh, no, it's not actually. It's spell casting. That's what is being done on the audience, spell casting. Because if they were artists, you wouldn't copy somebody else, let alone four people within 3 months, all revealing themselves with something along the lines of portal. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see the pattern here, right? Now, what the sheep will see is not patterns like that. What they'll see is if, as we've seen recently, Beyonce has come out and become a country singer, right? Well, if all of a sudden Rihanna came out and decided she was a country singer, that's something they would see. They'd say, wait, now Rihanna's doing country? That sounds a lot like Beyonce. She's copying Beyonce. But really what they should be looking at are patterns like this, symbology like this, because signs and symbols rule the world. Signs and symbols are all around us. This is how they reveal themselves. Now, on top of those famous musicians, all within a few months of each other, all using portals, portal imagery, saying portals, mentioning portals, very clear that they're talking about portals. They say the word portals, right? Eminem said portals, Katy Perry said portals. The Weeknd showed you a portal. And of course, Kanye West is referencing a portal. On top of those things in this, the past couple of months, we also don't forget had a portal placed in New York City. Now, how's that for a pattern, right? We had a portal put in New York City. Now, again, it wasn't a real portal. It was just a screen, but this is conditioning for portals. You see a pattern here? On top of all that, what's Universal Studios working on? Well, the Epic Universe. You heard about this? The Epic Universe, another massive amusement park that's going to be marketed bigger than Disney that everybody's all excited for. Did you hear the theme of the park here?
As guests walk through the portal, they're instantly transported to 1920s Mughal Paris, where they pass through the Phoenix Arch.
As our guests approach the portal, there's a spire that's crackling with electricity. This is how the dark energy is gathered.
And we're gonna see the electricity pulsating through the land and connecting at the top of this manor.
To a new world of gods and monsters.
Get ready, tons of excitement awaits on the other side of the portal at Universal Epic Universe.
Hey, so that's for the kids out there. Come on down. Come right through the portal, right? So while we're all seeing signs talking about portals, and some people are seeing videos like this one, well, the one thing they don't want you to see is a pattern here. They don't want you to think about CERN. They don't want you to think about all that imagery and how it looks like hadron colliders and all the stuff that CERN has shown us. That's why they put stuff like, CERN won't be opening a portal during an eclipse. CERN isn't trying to open a portal and summon demons. CERN's not trying to open a gateway to hell. Well, what are they trying to do? Well, CERN's doing science stuff, new physics, stuff you don't get, right? You're too dumb to understand it. Portals, dimensions, that stuff's not real, right? Kind of reminds me of the card in the Illuminati card game, Intellectuals, right? You ever see that card? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Intellectuals, what does it say underneath that? I didn't understand that. It must be true, right? Because that's how they're operating in front of us. They're showing us these things, and if you do question it, well, you don't understand it. What dimensions, spirits? That stuff's not real. Yet at the same time, they tell you that demons aren't real, demonic possession's not real, right? What do they tell you? Well, they want you to go see mediums and psychics. They constantly tell us about the supernatural. The Vatican comes out and says that they're going to be the experts on all supernatural events moving forward, right? because there is a pattern here. And that Kanye West picture that he posted on his Instagram account looked a lot like the imagery we've seen in Stranger Things. Now, the flip side of all of this is that if you actually pay attention to CERN and you pay attention to the stuff that I've shown you, that they're showing us in the movies, even the most popular TV shows that are out there, Evil and Stranger Things, the theme of that is actually opening up a doorway and bringing over what's on the other side.
Have existed for over 100,000 years. You weren't so different from apes. How long did it take you to discover agriculture? It took you 90,000 years to get from hunter-gatherer to farmer. How long did it take you to become industrialists? Atomic power, computers, the information age. And how long do you think it took us to get from hunting to farming, and farming to industry, and industry to atomic power? We are going to kill your science. It's a proton. One we have turned into a sentient computer. The universe has more dimensions than the 3 we occupy, but we have the technology to unfold them. We summon energies you cannot imagine. Even a tiny proton becomes something very large. A proton has virtually no mass, to the places where your best minds explore reality. Every civilization ends in chaos. There will eventually be a cataclysm from which we cannot recover. Our planet will be ripped in half.
Well, basically, there are parallel universes, infinite variations of it.
Like the Veil of Shadows.
And the tightrope is our dimension, and our dimension has rules. You can move forwards or backwards. The flea can also travel this way.
Upside down.
Exactly.
Is there any way for the acrobat to get to the Upside Down?
You'd have to create a massive amount of energy, open up some kind of tear in time and space. You create a doorway, like a gate. It might even swallow us up whole.
Now, have you heard of the Garrow Research Facility?
In Long Island, the particle accelerator?
Yeah.
It actually splits the proton of the atom.
Well, you know more than I do.
Well, it's a 14-mile loop that accelerates electrons and protons close to the speed of light.
Local parishes in Ryland are protesting. The particle accelerator will open the gates of hell.
So the scientists, they want us to prove they're not opening the gates of hell.
What's that? Something that was filmed down in the particle accelerator.
Satan, help us open this portal. We deliver this sacrifice to you.
The Vatican is asking you to investigate and write up a report.
It's a prank, right?
Well, I don't know. That's your job.
They make that video, Doctor.
We're in a friendly competition with CERN, particle accelerator in Switzerland. They did a similar video making fun of the satanic panic about their opening. So what can we do to convince you we are not Satan worshippers?
I mean, it's just the name that the night ship calls it. B-33. On the Proton Collider, they broke through something. But there's something there. Something under the concrete. A creature. They dragged that woman into it.
That's where the beams converge.
Oh, and your safeguards.
The beams are accelerated around the loop at 13,000 revolutions per second.
Any concern about an uncontrollable black hole?
It's not going to happen.
I know. Just humor me.
If there's concern about anything.
So that's how this all works, right? They show these things to you and they expect you to go ooh and ah because your brain waves are lowered when you watch concerts, when you listen to music. Your brain waves are put into a delta wavelength, which means you're in a hypnotic state. You're being programmed while you're watching this because you don't realize what you're even seeing. And they don't expect you to notice patterns. They don't expect you to notice things like portals being shown to you over and over again. They expect you to not question it because it's art. But then when you actually use common sense and you say, well, if these are artists, and these are some of the biggest artists, it's not like Kanye West is pulling something from some rapper that nobody's heard of who has 50,000 followers and you go, oh, you know, Kanye West stole it from him. He liked the idea. These are some of the biggest musicians on the planet. Kanye West and Eminem might be the two biggest rappers, and they're referencing portals. Katy Perry is one of the most known musicians out there. She was just in Australia performing. I mean, Katy Perry's known around the earth, right? And then on top of that, The Weeknd is probably one of the most popular people as well. Just performed at the Super Bowl a few years ago. Everybody knows who The Weeknd is for the most part because they cram them down everybody's throat. So they're all telling you that something with portals is occurring. There's some type of theme here. Are you supposed to figure out? No, but we could obviously tell that something's coming. Something big is coming. Because the stuff that they're telling us at CERN with new physics, and then the musicians constantly showing us this imagery, they're being told to put this imagery in there. They're not doing this because Kanye West was like, I would love, my whole life, my whole career, I've always wanted to have a portal out there. And nobody tapped him on the shoulder and goes, hey, maybe not for this album. Katy Perry just did it a couple weeks ago. She's talking about portals. Eminem just did it a couple weeks ago. The Weeknd just had a huge concert and a new music video where he's doing it. Right, because common sense would tell you then somebody would say, hey, right, you're supposed to be creative. You can't copy each other. Everybody can't copy one another, right? We got to be creative here. We got to do different things. They don't expect you to notice. Something's going on. And if you pay attention to what's going on with CERN, and the stories that come out about the new physics and all this other crap that they're trying to do, something is coming, and they're telling us it through imagery, through performances, through the constant repetition that we're seeing with portals. And again, to recap, Eminem, Katy Perry, The Weeknd, and Kanye West now all performing, doing portals. Whether it's a live performance, a music video, they're doing it over and over and over again. We had the portal in New York City recently. We have this theme park, which is designed for kids. But of course, these people these days now, like when I do videos talking about cartoons, they're like, cartoons aren't for kids. That's the world we live in. I'm like, what? They're like, cartoons, the Cartoon Network. It's not for kids, it's for adults. Oh, right. So adults who are behaving like children. Okay, gotcha. Right? Let me guess, the theme park that's promoting portals is for adults. It's not themed at conditioning children with portals and dimensions, right? Right. Keep telling yourself that. Portals, ladies and gentlemen, the pattern is there. Something is coming. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.